Hey y'all, thank y'all for showing interest in the video. If you like it, please like and subscribe. Have a great rest of the day. So we're making some cornbread right here. Pretty much 1 1/4 cups cornmeal, and then we add an egg.
2 cups cornmeal.
Sorry, two cups cornmeal with a egg. That's
and a 1/4 cup milk.
1 1/4 cup milk.
1 beaten egg.
And 1 beaten egg.
And a 1/4 cup of oil, but you pour the oil in the pan and let that heat up. And then after the oil heats up, you pour it back, you pour it into the batter.
Pour it into the batter, and then from there, this is what we would be using to cook it in right there. So we got our cornbread cooking right there, and Dutch oven there. What you would typically want to do is have hot coals on the top of the pan, or top of the lid, and some hot coals on the bottom. That's typically how you would want to cook certain dishes and certain things. So we have some polenta right here on this tin right here. It's a little bit more coarse than grits. Definitely pretty excited to try that out. And of course we have some cornbread going right here. Some hot water and that one right there. So this is the cornbread right here. Almost done. And a tiny bit more to do.
Oh, it's done.
Oh. So it's done then, actually. Fantastic. Fantastic example of cornbread right there. All completed. Cutting up the cornbread now. Is it usually best to cut it when it's hot or cold, or what's the general rule with cornbread? None?
I like my cornbread to be very hot so the butter melts. That's just the way I eat mine. Now, everybody has their own preference, but mine is to get it while it's hot.
This is some cornbread right here. Still steaming hot. Cooked it into this. 18th century cooking. This right here is polenta. That's pretty much what grits were. It's kind of a thicker or more coarse version of grits, interestingly enough.
All right, now.
So the rule for polenta is 4 parts water to one spoonful of...
But no, like 4 parts. So if you put 4 of these full of water in your pot, then you would use 1 of polenta.
Okay.
I only put 2. So I'm using half of this as polenta.
Interesting.
4 and 1. 4 water, 1 polenta. So like if you used 4 of these, you would use 1 of the polenta.
Okay. So the process of making Scotch eggs is you make some hard-boiled eggs, and then you get the shell off, and then you coat them with some ground meat, and then you a really thin layer of it, and then you put it into a firing or a nice cast iron skillet of sorts, and then you fry them. More details shortly. One of the things to note in making Scotch eggs is that they often had some sort of thing to kind of, help fry it. And in this case, we're using lard. They didn't have shortening back then. So in lieu of that, You know, we're using lard, which is historically accurate in this case, to make Scotch eggs. Now we're going to heat it up and let it warm up some.
Oh, really?
And now we are cooking our Scotch eggs, and we're going to let them fry. And this is and it's boiling in the lard that we had put in there earlier, so that's great. And these are Scotch eggs, the finished product. And this is the finished product. And this is the final result of the polenta. It's a little bit more coarse than grits. This is part of the salting process for bacon right here. Try to get the salt ground into the pieces of meat there. This is going to be sausage when we're done. The process for sausage. One of the steps for making that sausage is to cut those pieces up into fine pieces, very small pieces and stuff. Point being is to keep continuously cutting it up and slicing the meat into thinner and thinner pieces, and not necessarily mash it up, but I guess it's the concept of kind of slicing it up and stuff and turning it into that to where you can form it into something for sausage for that. And the sausage is cooking.
Yeah, I wonder if it didn't.
And it's holding together. Final product of the sausage.